Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another comic book review. The comics we're going to be discussing in this video were released on February 12, 2014. We got a couple of number ones, a couple of ups, a couple of downs, a couple of drops, a couple of possible drops. I'm going to say a couple of possibility drops.
Or in between.
And he has a few in betweens maybe.
No, not a few, just probably, just, we'll get to it. Let's just...
You worry me.
Yes.
So let's waste no time, actually, you're right, and get into the books this week, because we are on a double-header night. We just did the indie review a little while ago, took a 2-hour nap, and now here we are at, we won't say what time in the morning, doing the regular review. We're going to kick it off with a number one, actually, She-Hulk, issue number 1. I thought this book was very well written, very nice artwork. I'll show you guys some artwork. It's all about Jen losing her job at the firm that she works at. It was a very funny beginning where they don't want to give her a pay raise, and she's explaining how she saved the world in New York City multiple times, and it's not for her. It's kind of Mike Allred kind of book. It's kind of it feels it without it being his artwork, but she's like, I deserve, a little bit of extra money. They say no. They're like, we'll have to, if you feel that way, we're going to have to. She's like, don't bother, I quit. They say a couple of nasty things. She comes back and just basically destroys their table. So now Jen is out of a job. For those of you that don't know, Jen is She-Hulk, and you should. So she's at a bar for lawyers, and this woman comes up to her and brings her up a case. And it turns out, ironically, it's against Tony Stark, and she literally has to end up fighting her way to Tony Stark, and she actually pleads her client's case and tells Tony, just give her this, this, and that, and she wins the case in the end. And lo and behold, who didn't see this coming, Jen gets her own attorney office. She makes her own little attorney's office. And I guess that's where the story's basically going. For me, it was a good read, but personally, I'm not a humongous fan of She-Hulk. For those of you that don't know, I tried also the Indestructible Hulk, because it was written by Mark Waid, and I love Mark Waid's writing. Same precipice here. I think the story is really good, and I do recommend it, especially if you're a She-Hulk fan. I think the story was very well written. The artwork is really good. It really fits the book, too. However, for me, I'm not as dedicated to the series. Personal preference, I'm just not interested in She-Hulk. I thought this story might actually jog my interest in She-Hulk. It really doesn't. Next month, if it's a short week, will I grab She-Hulk 2? Yes. If it's a heavy week, will I grab She-Hulk? Probably not, because it's a great series, but it's not something that I'm interested in. I gave it a shot. I think it's really good. I think I would definitely recommend it. But for me personally, I'm not interested. Maybe Mike will be interested in checking out She-Hulk, and maybe he'll read She-Hulk. But for me, it's a mix between Daredevil and Hawkeye. But at the same time, the character itself is not my taste. But I think Michael actually would like this story. That's why I'm actually making a recommendation. You didn't read it?
No, I found the art a little sketchy.
Well, you got to read the story. The story's actually... Don't look at the artwork at first. Check the story out.
I try to look at the story over the artwork.
So, well, then you should check this out. And we'll see, maybe next month Mike will do She-Hulk. For me, it's okay, but I know Mike likes the ladies, so... Well, and especially after this, because I know this is also getting a probable no.
Winter Soldier, The Bitter March of Only Marvin Out, issue number 1.
That's the animal variant. Because every time we get an animal variant, we know that basically the book's either going to be good or bad.
Yeah, I really don't know. Like, it first starts off where,
this is in the past, you know.
Yeah, this is all in the past. By the way, here's some artwork.
Yeah. And that's Nick Fury.
Yeah, so we have Agent Fury along with...
Agent Nick Fury.
Yeah, Agent Nick Fury, right. And him and what was his name? Like, it's mentioned, like, it's not really mentioned that much in the beginning of the book. Basically, they go to the castle where Hydra is, and they want to put a stop and end to her, and they have plans of how to do that. So if you want, you can read the book and find out what all that's about. He's just talking to this lady and tries to, be like this whole mysterious thing. Like, I thought that was kind of funny. And there was this secret layer, actually, which I thought was kind of interesting, of the Hydra layer. And basically, like, they want to just fill stuff with gold because the Chancellor Cassandra is the one that's really the main character in all this.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, the woman she's with, let's just say it's very wormy, and she actually is Hydra, the one that he talks to, Madam Worm, basically.
Mm.
So there's just a big fight scene where Nick Fury comes to save him, and they just are trying to save the people who are kidnapped or something like that.
By Hydra?
By Hydra, yeah. And I'm trying to find the guy's name. It doesn't really say who, but basically they make it out of there with the two people, and it's very action-packed, along with
Then entered the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, and then the Winter Soldier enters, and he makes his amazing debut, actually, in this one with the red sunglasses and everything. Like, I thought he looked very stylish in that one. And let's just say in the end, the Winter Soldier, he just goes along from here. Like, plain simple.
They're trapped in the. I remember the last page. They're trapped in the forest with the Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but I thought it was pretty good. I mean, the artwork is okay. Agent Shin, that's his name. Agent Shin. I don't know. I mean, the story, it was kind of like, basically just to sum it up, it's like Nick Fury and Agent Shin go to the castle of Hydra. They find Hydra, and then Winter Soldier makes a debut, and that was it. So, I don't know, it was like my least, and I don't know, up to you guys if you want to pick it up. It's only
Leave it, it'll go off on its own.
I know. Deadpool number 23.
I love the alien.
Yeah, the alien variant cover. Looks.
Not a variant, it's a regular cover.
Yeah, the alien thing. Stop mixing me up. So, it's Deadpool.
He's not even talking straight and mixing him up.
It's Deadpool going against Agent Gorman of S.H.I.E.L.D. Because we got to his lair, and Deadpool is just being Deadpool, where he's just taking out Gorman's men one by one in the helicarrier. And, well, I don't want to show this artwork. It's kind of gruesome. So yeah, Gorman's men just trying to say, just keep Deadpool, you know, like away and everything, and they try to stop him, but Deadpool has plans ahead of time, like he always does. And
I love a little scene with Alien right there if you look at it really well.
Yeah, and there's some artwork which is very nicely done. And Deadpool and Gorman meet face to face after he takes out all of his men. And it's really about the money, because he set out people $1 million to kill Deadpool. So now Deadpool's like saying, you know, where's my money with all this stuff that you've been doing? So they have a little bit of a fight scene where like Gorman like literally tried to escape, but he just fell out of the helicarrier with a shot to his chest. Meanwhile, Agent Coulson is trying to find if Deadpool is going to make it out of there alive, which he does. And now with all that, the helicarrier makes a big kaboom. And yeah, Deadpool just cleans up the house. And then he also has a talk with his the person that's in him, Eleanor. And if you want to find out what they say there, it's up to you to read that scene. It's just basically just talking about, you know, the whole body changing and everything. And we get a little nice son and father moment where Terry Jr.'s mom's coming home and from the insane thing. What was it called? It was, I think it was an insane asylum. Or Nutty Wackatoo. Whatever it was. So basically, yeah. So I thought it was pretty good. DeadPool still brings the action. I like his Spider-Man-like things where he gets like a little sarcastic and all that stuff, but it's a really good read. I would say to definitely pick it up if you read DeadPool.
Next are 2 X-Men books, both on different sides of the Marvel Universe right now. All New X-Men issue 23, The Trial of Jean Grey, part 3 of 5. It's only 2 more parts to go.
Yeah.
Quick read. Recently announced, Cyclops, not old, but the young Cyclops is getting his own ongoing series, and it spins out of events from here, from what I hear.
The whole with Cyclops and Jean Grey, or is
no,
just
it's
the other
spinning
way?
out of what happens at the end of this book.
Oh.
So Cyclops, the young X-Men, and Kitty Pryde are now teaming up with the Guardians of the Galaxy to go save Jean Grey from the Shi'ar army, who want to try Jean Grey for crimes that she hasn't committed yet. The artwork is really good in this book, and basically, believe it or not, guys, I summed up the entire book already. The long and short of the beginning and middle of the book. Jean Grey is in the ship. They're telling her they're putting her on trial because of the Phoenix. She's like, you can't imprison me. I didn't do anything yet. The Shi'ar are immune to her psychic abilities and telepathic abilities. Lots of dialogue. I love Rocket Raccoon, and anytime I read his dialogue, oh man. And Toy Fair is going on as we speak right now, and they've already showed the Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel Legends
and Rocket
line.
Raccoon was one
Oh, I can't wait for that line to come out. But Scott is really worried about Jean, and so the rest of the X-Men. And I love how Iceman's like, you're a talking raccoon. He's like, they should stop calling me a clucking raccoon. And they're like, well, then what are you? And then they get attacked by a Shi'ar ship. There's a really good line by Rocket. I swear, Rocket Raccoon has the best line. It's an all-new X-Men book, too. So they go after the Guardians of the Galaxy fight against the Shi'ar. They're not winning. We get a little part with Jean again where the psychologist, I believe she is, a psychiatrist, is explaining to Jean why she's going on trial. The woman actually reads Jean's mind and says, you are innocent because you have such an innocent mind and you have no idea what the Phoenix Force is. And then Jean gets a little bit pissed off and she's like, a word of advice, watch your temper. And then it goes back to the Guardians versus the Shi'ar warship. Out of nowhere, another spaceship comes in and takes out the Shi'ar, and then we find out, this is the part you didn't know, and I didn't know until I read this book and did a little bit of research. The ship is piloted by a captain with the last name of Summers. And Scott...
Don't tell me it's...
Scott's like, wait, did you just say, why did you call him Summers, and then... oh god, I forgot his name. Why did his name? No, not Havoc. Oh god, Star-Lord. Well, anyway, Star-Lord actually says, hey, Summers, I think there's someone here who wants to talk to you. And the guy says, in reply, this is Major Christopher Summers, USAF, who am I talking to? And for those of you that are not keen on X-Men history, Christopher Summers is Scott Summers' thought to be dead father.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. And you just see Scott with that little
Didn't that happen
twinkle.
one time in the animated X-Men, the 90s?
I think
where
so.
He met with his father, yeah.
And you see that little shine in his visor. And young Cyclops doesn't know this yet. So that's going to be very interesting. And it's interesting that his father's name is Christopher. Because if I was Scott Summers, present-day Scott Summers' father, I would have slapped the crap out of him. That's for sure.
Well, before he became what he is today.
Wolverine and the X-Men, issue 41. Don't let the cover fool you. It is mostly all about Toad. Toad is fired because of what he did in the Hellfire. And by the way, again with the covers, thank you Marvel. You're still doing these shitty covers.
Gloves.
I really wish you'd get better printers. So Toad leaves. Paige, aka Husk, still doesn't remember ever loving him to begin with. He decides to. He hears that the Hellfire kids escaped the Jean Grey school, and the X-Men come in to bring them back because that's their kind of punishment. Toad wants to join them, and he wants to leave with them. And the younger one, oh god, what's his name? I forgot what the other guys. I don't think it's gonna give me it here. Max, yes it will. Max actually says to Toad, "You're not here to take us back, are you?" And he's like, "No. Do you believe in second chances?" He's like, "Yeah, I believe it, but you're still gonna need to prove yourself to me." And then Toad attacks, and we all find out that, spoiler alert, I guess, he attacks Manuel. Manuel gets taken back to the Jean Grey school, and Max and Toad escape. Paige is, or Husk really wants to find out why she was in love with Toad. And it turns out that now with her skin changes, her personality takes a change also. And Beast is working on helping her out with that. But in the end, as Manuel's telling him the story, that it was Toad that did it, and he's like, Toad actually said he can't stay because she's afraid that she'll wake up and she'll realize what he really is, basically who Toad really is. So basically Husk rips her face off and we get her human face again. And she's going to continue to help out Manuel. Things are not going well. They're still looking for a new janitor. So things aren't going well with Krakoa or any type of cleaning. And in the end you see Max and Toad kind of like flying off to some place where nobody can hurt them. And the next issue is the final issue. So this was a very heavy issue on Toad. Just kind of putting a big period on Toad's involvement with the Wolverine and the X-Men series. When the new season or the new semester starts, when they relaunch the title again with the #1, because apparently anytime a book in Marvel lately makes it close to even halfway to 100, Marvel has to relaunch it. Hopefully they won't relaunch it after this again.
It would be good
because this is starting to get really ridiculous. Toad won't be the janitor, so maybe they're opening up the possibilities of a new janitor coming on. I don't know, but this basically just put an end to Toad. By the way, for those of you that didn't notice, on the cover, this used to be Kitty Pryde. They actually changed it to Husk last minute. This was supposed to be Kitty Pryde.
Yeah, I remember the cover.
Yeah, no, they changed it to Husk. Maybe Kitty Pryde wasn't supposed to. Maybe Kitty Pryde was never supposed to leave the book, and they decided at the last minute. Who knows? Or maybe they just didn't want to spoil Kitty Pryde leaving the team, so they faked her being on there. So next is your 2 books.
All right, Revolutionary War, Death's Head 2, one shot.
How was it?
Really intense. It's basically Death's Head versus Death's Head 2, because there was a whole big thing of Death's Head in the past. But before we get into the intensive fight, it just talks about where Captain Britain from the first issue, when he was captured, and they brought him back to the Peacemakers, and technically they betray the person who was going after Captain Britain.
Death's Head.
What is Death's Head? Oh, that's Death's Head too. Oh, my mistake. So yeah, so they attack him because of the Mestech situation. And Death's Head 2 is just taking all of them out one by one. Meanwhile, we go to the research center where there's a whole bunch of other stuff that happens. Tuck, actually, the future Tuck, is in this because there's a Tuck in the past Tuck. So it kind of gives you like an X-Men feel of the past and future part. Like that's what I saw when I was kind of reading this book, because Death's Head 1 comes in, and there's just like a whole big...
How is Death's Head 1 in the future. This is the future, or is this the
This
past?
is the future.
So how's Death Head 1 in the future, but Death Head 2 is in the present?
They really didn't explain it much. Like, they just...
Keep going, because you've already lost me with this story.
Well,
no, this whole story, the whole Revolutionary War, just doesn't interest me.
Like, they're just robots just fighting, you know, like each other, and Death's Head's actually part of it. They actually talk about a little bit in this part, actually. So maybe you'll get a little bit of a history of Death's Head. So, the fight between Death's Head 1 and 2 was just outrageous. Like, the artwork and, like, everything about it is just highly action-packed and, like, really amazing. And, also the two Tucks were, like, talking to one another as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, meanwhile, Death's Head 2 had a little bit of a backup plan to get rid of Death's Head 1. Well, I'll just say Death's Head, really, because...
Yeah, don't say 1 and 2, it's not even...
Yeah. I'm starting to 1.
1, 2, 3, 4...
5, 6, 7. So, they've got a plan to reboot the subsystems, and they need a password. And Death's Head 2 forgot what it was, and with Tuck giving him the hint, it's actually Overkill, which basically takes out all the robots and to reboot the whole system and everything. So, in the end, Death's Head 2 and the Tuck from the future have a talk with each other, and they think that the Mistech was really behind everything that has happened. So they want to now go save the world and just see what else surprises awaits them. And that's to be continued in the Revolutionary War of Super Soldiers, #1. So, got another 4 more one-shot issues to go, and then we'll probably finish the one-shots of the Revolutionary War. So,
yeah, I think it's over then after that.
I mean, the only thing I liked about the issue was Death's Head 1 and 2 facing each other, and if you want to read more about Death's Head and the whole past-future thing, then you could definitely read it. My book of the week from Marvel now is, or all new Marvel now, is the all-new X-Factor issue #3. I mean, this book delivers great issues, and you know what the thing I liked about this book? When I interviewed Peter Dave at Comic-Con, it relates to the real-life situations, and that's what I like that he brings in this book. We have Havoc, who makes an appearance in the beginning of the book. And by the way, Havoc is Lorna's boyfriend, because they were going to get married and all that other stuff. So basically he talks about what happened in X Factor and why he's having Quicksilver to keep an eye on her, since he's her half-brother and all. So basically, like, he's just saying, you know, you just got to keep an eye on her. I mean, even Gambit too, because he's a little bit of a thingamajigger. And then he talks about several industries, which is where the new X Factor team is. Gambit and Polaris have a little talk with each other with the little kitties, and basically they have like another mission that they have to go through. And basically Mr. Harrison talks about that there was a computer hacker who hacked into several industries. And Gambit might know who that person behind it is. And both Gambit, Lorna, and Quicksilver are going to go on a mission to find out who it is. And the artwork is just really excellently drawn. So we find out as the issue continues of who the person is, and he goes by the name of what's his name? Like I hate when I forget these names, but
whatever his name
is, yeah, he's the one that hacked into the computers, and now they actually go into where Danger comes in.
And she's probably been hacked into
She
too.
was probably hacked into as well. And they release her, and now all that is going to be in the next issue. So lots of danger lurks around for the X Factor team. So yeah, pun there.
Pun.
But great book of the week, and everything.
Lastly, from Marvel this week for me, and for Marvel in general, is the Superior Spider-Man issue 27. They're calling it 27 Point Now because this is the Point Now issue, but whatever. This is the last story arc for Superior Spider-Man, and then Superior Spider-Man's ending, Combination. So we jump 31 hours into, or what is it, 31 days later, and New York is a mess. The goblins are, you know, crime is everywhere, and Spider-Man can't figure out why. His Spider-Bots, nothing is working. Everything's kind of falling apart. And then you have the Goblin. We saw this picture. It was spoiled everywhere with the Goblin face all over the Brooklyn Bridge.
Yeah.
Then we go into Pete's or Doc Ock or Spider-Man's mind, where Pete's kind of just hiding inside of his own memories that he has left. He only has like 31 memories left. And Doc Ock accesses the memory about Gwen Stacy and the symbolism of the Brooklyn Bridge. We jump into Doc Ock trying to figure out what's wrong with the Spider-Bots, and then he figures out what's wrong with the Spider-Bots. You got J. Jonah Jameson with the Slayer Patrol, and then J. Jonah Jameson, Victor Stone's like, just give us the word and we'll let them go. And he's like, no, there's one more thing that he needs to do, and he needs to know it's from me. Before he dies, he needs to know it was at my hands. And Spider-Man, or Doc Ock Spidey, figures out what is wrong with the Spider-Bots. He goes deep underground. There's a small scene with Detective Watanabe, who's still looking for Carly. Spidey, or Doc Ock Spidey, goes underground, and then we get the confrontation between the Green Goblin and Doc Ock, and he says, I know you're Otto Octavius and we should work together. He's like, no way, I'm Spider-Man now and I'm gonna save the day and you're done. And Green Goblin's like, fine, if you want to play that game. And he tries to shock Spider-Man to kill him, and it turns out it's a hologram. This plays into previous story arcs. And figuring that Spider-Man is still on Spider Island, which he was through the machine. There's a huge assault that happens on Spider Island, and I'm not going to spoil the last page or any kind of page in this book, but wow, that was a crazy ending to this series, and again with the fingerprints on the book. I mean,
isn't Carly going to be in any of this? Because remember,
she is in this. She's part of the assault on Spider Island.
Also, she'll be known. Wait, how did you figure that out?
She's one of the. You can tell because she's in it. You see her. She's a goblin now.
Oh, I didn't know.
So again with the fingerprints, though, I'm glad this variant didn't cost extra money, and I feel bad for anybody who pays extra money for variants and it's minor. It's minor fingerprints, and thank God it's not on the kitty. But I love the variant. I couldn't help it. I've seen so many copies of the cover everywhere. The original regular cover, I had to get the kitty variant. Awesome. This is shaping up to be an awesome story. Superior Spider-Man number 27 is definitely top book for me from Marvel this week. And with that, we're going to go into our commercial break. When we come back, we'll go into DC Comics, where we have about, honestly, an even pile this week. So we're going to finish up with DC, so stay tuned, and we will be right back after these messages. Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's comic book review. And we are now in DC Comics, really quickly throwing out the digital first. And Season 11 continues with Smallville Alien, issue number 3. This was really good. The Monitor is basically ready to destroy what they're calling Earth Prime. You got some really nice Lex Clark moments in here. Chloe is with Batman, and they're trying to figure out who the dead body was of, because it's not Clark. That was a horrible sentence, and I'm trying to say it a different way. Basically, he's trying to find out who the person is because it's not Clark. And Clark and Lex find this underground cavern where there's a spaceship. It turns out it's the Monitor spaceship. You got a nice scene with Lois and Nightwing. This is really a sweet scene. Really, Superman is not too heavy in this issue. It's mostly Clark. So they find they go into the Monitor spaceship. Lots of dialogue. Monitor tries to kill both of them. It kind of doesn't work. And we get to see a Bruce, a different type of Bruce. Which I'm not going to say where he's from. I believe he's from Earth 2 if I'm not mistaken. And then Monitor shoots Clark and puts him in a very precarious predicament. And Lex jumps in to save him. But if Lex saves him, let's just say Lex is going to find out Clark's secret, and we all know that's not going to happen, so it's going to be interesting to see where that goes. But you guys know all this already, because already issue number 4 of Alien is already coming out digitally on Comixology, so this is old news for people reading this digitally. This is new news for people like me who read it only in physical copy. Recommend it. Superboy issue 28. Done. I'm sorry. I've tried every single way to accept John Lane Kent as Superboy, and I cannot. This is not Connor Kent. They killed our Connor. They reboot. First of all, New 52 rebooted Connor, and then they killed him in Return to Krypton. I'm sorry. I can't stand John Lane Kent anymore. And my only dedicated books, the only books that I've ever sworn or tried, or obviously as you can tell, never drop, are Superman books. I didn't collect Superboy until the New 52. I did get Superboy, the volume, right before the New 52, where Connor became Connor Kent and the whole thing. But way back when I first started collecting Superman, I never bought Supergirl. I never bought Superboy. I didn't even buy Supergirl until recently, because I never read Supergirl. I never read the family titles to Superman. So Superboy and Supergirl are free game, as they say, for dropping. And this was the last straw for Superboy. I'm done with Superboy. I'm sorry. When it comes to the Superman podcast, I'm going to have an abbreviated... Jay's going to give me an abbreviated version of it, or I'll find some other way to read it, but I'm not wasting any more money on this Superboy because... this is not the Superboy. This is not... First of all, it's not Connor Kent Superboy anymore anyway, number one. Number two, I haven't really honestly enjoyed Superboy since the New 52 started, because the original Superboy is my favorite, the one with the leather jacket. You guys remember him, right? Yeah, he's not around anymore. And then just when I was warming up to this new Connor Kent, he dies, and now we're left with it. No, I'm done. Sorry. If things pick up for Superboy, or if things change... we'll come back. Maybe I'll come back to it, but for now, done. So Superboy is off the pull list. Green Lantern Corps issue 28. I'm being honest, this was going to be dropped too. It was going to be dropped because this whole book was John Stewart and a few other Green Lanterns chasing after, I forgot what his name was already. Can't even remember his name. Von Dangle.
Oh yeah, Von Dangle.
And he was a Green Lantern. At one time, they need him to join them to stop the Durlans because the Durlans are in... we all know the war between the Green Lanterns and the Durlans. There's some dialogue on Mogo. What's her name? Gets kidnapped. Saronic? I can't even pronounce her name. I need to see what...
how's it pronounced?
Saranic. Basically, Sinestro's daughter. She gets kidnapped and, what's his name? Salak gets thrown down to, Mogo, and it's kind of like a warning, and we don't know who took Saronic yet. We go back to the whole fight between Von Dangle and the Green Lanterns, and in the end of it all, the Durlands show up. So now it's the Durlands wanting Von Dangle on their side. Green Lanterns are kind of taking cut in ranks. And yeah, there's going to be a whole fight between them, but it's so uninteresting. But the reason why I might not drop this is the very last page.
Wow.
We see the return of a character that we haven't seen since the end of the Jeff Johns run on Green Lantern. And yeah, I'm going to say it right here. I'm not going to show the final page, but... Oh, why not? It's been a couple of days now. We see the return of Arkillo. And that is the only reason why I'm considering getting the next issue of Green Lantern Corps. I'm actually at the 50-50 mark. I don't know if I'm going to probably come back to see if Arkillo's in the next issue. If he's not, or if this is playing into a future story arc, maybe I'll drop Green Lantern Corps until, of course, the whole crossover thing happens again, and then I have no choice but to get Green Lantern Corps. I'm not sure. But, to be honest... If I've got a heavy week of comics, the week Green Lantern Corps issue 29 comes out, don't be surprised if I actually put it on the side for a different week where I don't have too many books. Because this, again, is another book that, since the Jeff Johns run ended, I'm sorry. And we'll see next week Green Lantern New Guardians. Green Lantern New Guardians has no saving grace in my eyes, to be honest. Batgirl issue number 28. We get the introduction. It says introducing, so I said introduction. Introduction of Silver, who believes the Batman family, Batgirl, Batman, Nightwing, and everything are vampires.
Oh no.
Why he believes that, I have no clue. And he stalks Batgirl and Strix. If you guys don't know who Strix is, you have to check out Birds of Prey, I believe, because that's where she debuted. She doesn't talk, and she wants Batgirl to help her find a missing little girl.
So basically, they have to look for her.
Yeah, so that's what they're going to do. Silver is watching Batgirl, and Styx, basically Batgirl was about to arrest these guys who were about to break in. Styx comes in and knocks them out already. And this is what this guy sees. He sees Batgirl as a vampire, sucking on blood. And she's not. She's basically just tying them up and leaving them for the police. She actually does make a phone call to Nightfall and says that, look, I know that there's a deep down twisted part of her soul that thinks she's protecting Gotham, and she asked for her help, and she says she'll owe her one if Nightfall helps her. And she's like, you know what? Consider this a complimentary. And she's looking for help finding the little girl. So I'm going to skip that part completely. So Barbara and Styx go undercover pretending to be detectives to get more information on the missing little girl. However, Silver shows up, threatens Barbara, saying he knows she's part of the Bat people. Yeah. There's a bit of a fight that breaks out. By the way, guys, I am definitely getting the Superman statue. I don't know why, but the face definitely speaks to me here. Something to talk about for a Hall of Toys video or something. And it turns out that the police show up, and Silver basically is the one that has the little girl. And the girl's gonna die at dawn. So it's gonna be up to Batgirl to save this little girl. Especially after the last issue with Gothtopia, it was kind of weird jumping into a brand spanking new story like this without kind of any hints to what recently happened in Gothtopia or anything like that. It was kind of out there a little bit. It's like I was expecting to see another kind of connection to Gothtopia. I don't know why. Even in Batwing, I was kind of expecting another connection to Gothtopia. And there is still a connection to Gothtopia, but not as deep as the first issue was. Same here, it's just a brand new story arc altogether. And it kind of was like, wait, what? When I saw the cover, I was like, wait a minute, what happened to Gothtopia? That's it? It was one issue? And yeah, it was basically one issue.
One issue, and then that was...
And now we're in this story. And it's okay, average read, in my opinion.
Okay.
This is basically average.
So, alright.
Whereas Nightwing 28 was a little bit above average. I did enjoy Nightwing a little bit more. Nightwing 28, we see... Oh, what's the little girl's name? He's fighting, I forgot what... Jeez.
Name just escaped us.
Well, no, it was somebody... It was this,
Was in Bow Bubbles?
Oh, Spinebender.
Yeah, there it is.
Him and Barbara fought him in earlier issues of Nightwing. And he's dying. He has a couple of weeks left to live, so he wants to take Nightwing down with him. In the end, Nightwing beats him. And then there's also a scene between, oh god, what was the person who killed,
Like it was, can't actually find...
I can't remember his name.
It
But it involves Sonya and her father. Yes, the guy that killed Nightwing's family. His name escaped me at the moment. But it turns out the little girl from the last issue who found out that Dick was, Jen. Was Nightwing. Jen found out that Dick was Nightwing. Her parents in this issue, spoiler alert, get killed. And she knows there's a scene between Dick and Sonya. I leave that up to you guys to read, but it definitely plays into previous story arcs. So her parents are killed. She knows who did it. She knows that Dick is Nightwing. And Dick kind of sees what happened to him with her, and he actually goes to her to kind of be her support, and she's like, I know who you are. I found your costume and sticks in the floorboard, and he's like, and he's like, why don't I get you some water and we can talk about what you think you saw? And she's like, yeah, I thought you were gonna say that. She runs off, and Dick sees the floorboard move, so apparently I think she took his costume.
What it looks like.
Or his weapons. Maybe just his weapons.
Oh yeah, one
could be just his weapons.
Could be that.
And it turns out the person that killed her family, ready guys, because this is going to all lead into Forever Evil, is Mr. Zsasz. And it says, next issue, the end. I don't believe that's 100% true, because I think that we have...
There's still a few more to go, isn't there?
Yeah, I think we have one or two more issues before Nightwing catches up with what's going on in Forever Evil. Hopefully we won't see the end of... Nightwing won't die in Forever Evil. I like Dick Grayson. However, I will say that probably Dick Grayson will not be Nightwing anymore.
Isn't he going to be the Talon?
No, I don't think he'll be a Talon either. I don't know what's going to happen to Dick Grayson, but definitely Nightwing will be over by the end of Forever Evil, because now everybody knows that Dick Grayson's Nightwing. So either Dick Grayson will change his identity and go under a new alias, or Dick Grayson's just going to be Nightwing 24/7 and there will be no more Dick Grayson. But I doubt that, because then why is Nightwing ending?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
As the issue goes on.
Superman Wonder Woman issue number 5. Fora is now free from the Phantom Zone, and there's a lot of scenes in here with it jumps back and forth between Superman and Wonder Woman. They had a little bit of a spat. Now the Justice, he's trying to contact Wonder Woman because Zod and Fora are free and he needs help. He doesn't want to involve the rest of the League. He calls Batman to try to find Wonder Woman, and Batman's like, you guys had a tiff and the world is now burning, and he's like, I don't need Elektra, can you help me find her? And he's like, I'll have Cyborg on it. Wonder Woman's dealing with stuff on Themyscira. You have Zod, who snaps Fora out of it, and then they basically start beating up on Superman. Finally, they get into contact with Wonder Woman, who, by the way, and I will say this because I actually think this is a good point for the book, and it kind of gives credibility to the book. When Wonder Woman's talking to her mother, way back in the middle of the book, and she says, I'm not used to this doubt, I hate it, I I can call my visit a strategic retreat, an effort to regroup and find victory another day, but I actually believe that? I'm Diana of Themyscira, a princess, daughter of Zeus, with all the power and tragedy that entails. Why should I wonder about any man? Oh, basically, before that he says, I've chosen a champion, a man like us, but not a god in his way, but he chooses a second life, one that turns from his gifts, and that is a place I cannot go. I'm not certain that he wants me to go. I am not certain that he wants me to go. Basically, she's talking about him being Clark Kent, and then she's not sure he wants her. She doesn't think he wants her to go into that second life of his, that it's them together when he's Superman, and then he lives a normal life. And she's like, why should I wonder about any man, even him? So finally, we're starting to see that rift between Superman and Wonder Woman, and why they can't be together, or why they won't work. You know. However, she shows up and basically saves Superman because Superman was getting his butt kicked. In the end, though, Zod makes kind of a offer. He's like, because she's beating up Flora, he's beating up Clark, and he says, let her go, I'll let him go, and no one dies today. And she lets her go, he lets him go, they retreat, and Superman's like, we can't let them go, and she's like, it's a strategic retreat, no one dies, at least not today. Next issue is the final battle. After this story arc, I really honestly don't see where Wonder Woman, Superman Wonder Woman is going to go. I don't think this is like Superman Unchained, where it's supposed to end after the first story arc, but I guess we'll see after Zod and Flora get thrown back into the Phantom Zone, if that's what they so choose to do in this situation. Moving on, final book that's not connected to Forever Evil, and then we'll jump into the Forever Evil books. Batman issue 28 is not a 0-year book. They're taking a break for 1 month, and they're giving you a secret glimpse into Batman Eternal. Now, this is I understand what they're doing, but at the same time, I'm not happy with it. Batman 0 Year has been an average read at best, and this is supposed to be a 12-issue or less, maybe about a 10 or 11 issue story arc. And for an story, you want to get that 10, 11 issues done to continue on with Batman. And this book, while I understand DC didn't want to put out an extra Bat book, so they're saving you an extra $3.99, I understand that. It puts the 0-year book on the shelf for 1 month, which is basically essentially extending the 0-year books an extra month. So instead of, for example, ending in, I believe it's supposed to end in June or in May, it's going to end in June or July. It's pushing it an extra month forward. And to be honest, I want to get 0 Year over with. I would have rather have paid the extra $3.99 for a Batman Eternal issue 0 or something. And I believe there is going to be an issue 0. Or this was supposed to be issue 0. And they changed their mind last minute and decided to throw it into Batman instead. And what this book is, it doesn't start you off at the beginning of Batman Eternal. It starts you off kind of, I believe, in the middle, because it says Gotham soon. And you get tons of hints thrown out at you. Harper is now working with Batman. Catwoman is the kingpin of the underworld. Harper goes by Bluebird. Somebody is working in the Batcave, and it's not Alfred, and I believe it's Carrie Kelly, because it looks like a woman. There's an infection or something's going on in Gotham, and a lot of people are dying, and Selena Kyle has the key to stopping all that. And her and Batman, basically she tells Batman Batman did something, because where was it? She says that Catwoman's gone. She died out there because you left her to die. And then, where was it where she said a couple other things?
Wasn't the last page?
No, I think it was over here.
Yeah, the last page. It is very, Like, the artwork is very great artwork.
It's great artwork, but I want to see where she mentioned about... I'm trying to find the page where... Oh, here. No, basically she says Catwoman's dead, and then... This is the future. The underworld belongs to me now. She threatens to kill Batman. Anyway, beside the point, he says you lost your friends. You basically lost Gotham. The police are after you now. So basically, a lot of hell's going on against Batman. And we don't know... Oh, you lost so much already. The police, your friends, the city... So basically Batman lost everything, and then the final page I'm not going to show you guys, but we get to see Stephanie Brown. Okay. So apparently Stephanie Brown is the key. We all knew this because that's what they said, that they were bringing Spoiler back. I would highly recommend you check out Batman issue 28, especially if you're going to be getting Batman Eternal. I guess I am, because I've dropped so many books between Marvel and DC that I have the extra space now for a weekly or bi-weekly series when it comes to Batman Eternal. So why not? I'll jump into Batman Eternal. It's only a year-long story arc, and then it ends, like it's done. But once again, I would have liked to have gotten the next issue of Batman 0 Year out and over with so we can continue forward and get Batman back into the present. Because a lot of people are starting to lose faith in Batman because 0 Year is an average read, but not something that's super spectacular like it used to be. Okay, we're now in Forever Evil territory. We have Suicide Squad issue number 28. This is connected to Forever Evil, but not. It focuses only on Suicide Squad. The Thinker is in control of OMAC. However, the two Suicide Squads come back to Belle Reve, and they want revenge against Harley in the worst way. King Shark's father, things don't look so good for him. King Shark himself, things don't look good for him either, but beside the point. The Suicide Squads try to take out OMAC. No matter what they do, doesn't matter. Even Power Girl gets knocked out by OMAC, who says basically none of them are in his league. However, Deadshot, and... or Deadspot, right? Whatever. Deadspot and Harley sneak away because they're looking for experimental bullets, which give them superpowers and whatnot, or at least that's what Waller told them. Deadshot and Harley return with the bullets. He doesn't trust Waller, so he shoots Harley, he shoots Waller, and then he shoots himself. To be continued. That's the whole issue.
Wow.
The way I explained it to you, honestly, and there's a reason why I literally just explained the whole book to you, that's how it felt to me. I felt like I read this book, and the way I read it was the exact way I told you guys. Like that, straight to the point, and that's it. In a way, I understand now why Suicide Squad is going to be ending after Forever Evil, because I really don't see a next story arc after this. Will we get another team book? Maybe in the future, but not right now at least. The next two books are yours.
Yep. Unlike the last Constantine issue 11 was actually better.
Oh, one little thing. This isn't really super connected to Forever Evil. You don't have to read it to know what's going on in Forever Evil. Just want to put that out there. If you're a Suicide Squad fan, definitely read it, but it's not something heavily connected to Forever Evil at all. Don't need it. Yeah.
So
yours is different.
On,
yours is
Forever Evil Blight, where John Constantine and the rest are looking for the Justice League Dark Team and Zatanna. So they find out where they were, and then the Blight, who was actually in this, it's not controlled by Chris anymore. It's by, spoiler alert, Nick Necro. Or Necro. Or Necro. Yeah, Nick.
Okay, so what happened to Chris?
I told
he's
you.
Gone.
Remember, like,
so he's just gone?
Yeah, they got him out of Blight, and now Nick, with Dr. Faust over there, is doing the whole thingamajigger now. So Nightmare Nurse tries to help John Constantine with all this by trying to find Zatanna and the rest, and they find Black Orchid and the rest of the people that were in it, even Papa Midnight. But they're wondering where Zatanna is. Constantine has a little bit of an anger with Nightmare Nurse because Nightmare Nurse was actually Nick Necro because he wouldn't be treating him like this, so to say. The artwork is really good and lots of stuff. And he just wants to get him back. I mean, come on. We've heard Nick say, okay, John, I'm getting you back for what you did to me. I mean, haven't we heard this so many times before in Justice League Dark? And now I'm hearing it in Constantine. I mean, we get it. It's the past. Get over it. To Nick, I'm saying, just get over it. It happened already.
It never happens until they actually get their almighty revenge.
So John Constantine, with him tying the knot, he found a way to knock out Nick. And Dr. Faust comes in and interferes and all this. And basically, the whole thing gets to where, well, let's just say things don't work out so well in the end. Which will continue in Pandora, issue number 8. So, big mess Constantine got himself into, along with Nick Necro and Dr. Faust. So, what will happen next? Well, we'll find out in Pandora and see what happens there.
Alright guys, give us 2 seconds. We're going to click the button. For you guys, it's not even going to look like we clicked the button because it's just going to continue forward. So hang tight and we're going to continue with the last 2 books. Alright, continuing on. Mike has one more book.
Yep.
Because I'm sorry, that broke away from anything I was reading Justice Forever Evil related with the Justice League. Right now, this book is focusing mostly on John Jones and Stargirl alone. Justice League of America, issue 12.
Along with the...
no, I'm saying it's Justice League issue number 12. There you go.
Justice League of America.
Of America, issue number 12, right. Sorry.
Yeah. So, as we saw from what happened last issue, Despero... Did I say his name? Despero. Yeah, I said his name right. Attacked John Jones and Stargirl, and... You know, basically, she's just had enough of nice artwork, by the way, throughout this whole comic book. And the whole issue is just John Jones and Stargirl, like I said before, fighting the Sparrow.
And again, you don't need to read this now anymore for Forever Evil, because now it's just become a John Jones and Stargirl book.
Yeah, but basically... what I learned about the Sparrow is that he is a master of illusions, where he can turn and morph into people and stuff like that. Because I really didn't know the Sparrow, to be honest, until I just read this comic book. So he defeats John Jones, and Stargirl comes to save him. And he tells Stargirl that you have to go Los Angeles because Firestorm is going to explode. And all the Justice League is going to die, and she
that's
has
the
to
only
free
connection
them.
to Forever Evil.
And then we get a little John Jones when, he tells a story about the Martian village and everything. It's just like a little bit of a story. You can read it for yourself if you want. So he tells Stargirl you must hurry to save them before everything turns out not so well. So then Stargirl and Despero fight off against each other, which is an all-out brawl, I have to say. And there's just something that really gets the ending part where things may not look so well for our heroes or anything. So
especially John
Jones. So lots of twists and turns when it comes to this. But I do agree with Chris when he says that it's mostly focused and fixated on Stargirl and John Jones. But maybe when the whole Justice League comes back, because they're the only 2 people that could save the Justice League, if they can save the Justice League, and get rid of the whole crime syndicate and everything, because they haven't done much that I heard of.
Finally this week, Forever Evil Rogues Rebellion, the Pendulum issue 5 of 6. The Royal Flush Gang have the Rogues now as their prisoners, because if the Rogues don't listen or comply with the Royal Flush Gang, they kill Lisa, aka Glider. So Weatherman gets sick of being a prisoner. And he actually agrees with Trickster, who's like, why are we letting these chumps do whatever they want with us? So Weatherman kind of snaps, blows the truck out, knocks out the entire Royal Flush Gang, and then basically there's a whole argument between him and Mirror Master. And in the end, he's like, you know what? Heat Waves is dead. Glider's in a coma. We don't know where Cold is. The Rogues are done. So this is like the 4th time in this book that they actually said the Rogues are done.
Yeah, I've actually noticed that.
It's like they always give up on each other.
About that. Now
it's ridiculous
saying,
how interesting. It's very ridiculous and interesting how almost every other issue it's like the Rogues are done. The Rogues are done, and then in the end they come back together anyway.
Exactly. So why are you saying you're done when you come back together? Just go along with what you're doing.
And just walk away for 5 minutes, because Mirror Master and Trickster get to Central City finally to save Lisa. Trickster does end up getting Lisa, and Mirror Master does a couple of mirror tricks, and then it becomes the it becomes the rest of the Royal Flush Gang versus Mirror Master, as Trickster saves Glider. Trickster jumps in, and then guess what? Johnny Quick and Atomica show up. Finally, the Crime Syndicate makes an appearance.
Yeah, how long has it been already?
Well, they did make mention that Atomica and Johnny Quick were heading to Central City. I don't want to look at Atomica
after what she did to Superman in the Trinity War. I don't even...
Atomica is just a bitch. I can't stand her since Justice League of America, her turn. But beside the point, they reveal that Mirror Master and Trickster were actually police officers in their world, and they kind of don't believe it. Johnny Quick and Atomica are basically beat the crap out of Trickster and Mirror Master until, who didn't see this coming, Weatherman can return again, or Weathermaster showed up. And basically he tried to put Johnny Quick in a deep freeze. It almost succeeded too, and if only Ultraman basically teleported them, like basically he gets shot in the head. Johnny Quick gets pissed off because he thinks that was his target, and he goes and destroys the leader of the Royal Flush Gang, and it turns out that the bullet didn't even kill Marcos, it just knocked him, it just grazed his head ever so gently. So, because of the events that are going on in Forever Evil issue, the previous issue from last month, I believe it was issue 6, 5 or 6.
5.
Whatever it was, Ultraman demands all the League come back together. They didn't want to listen, so they got teleported away regardless. And in their place, Grid teleported.
Whoa.
Grodd and the rest. We knew that it was going to come to Gorilla Grodd versus the Rogues, but they added basically everybody.
What's wrong with Parasite?
I don't know. The artist's depiction of him. Basically, it's Grodd and every single other supervillain that the Rogues have faced since issue number 1.
Oh.
So it's gonna be real. I gotta be honest. This issue, the series picked up. It went low in the part where they were in Gotham. Those 2 issues they were in Gotham, it went low, and the second they left Gotham, it went back up again. This had an awesome first 2 issues. The middle 2, and now the last 2 are going to be, I knew this issue was going to be huge. Issue 6, the conclusion is going to, let's see if that's great, because if it is, then that means 4 out of the 6 issues were awesome, and it's kind of ironic, because when they went to Gotham, that's kind of where the series kind of sunk.
Why do comics do that? They leave you off at an interesting cliffhanger, and you got to wait almost another month for the next one.
I think it was spectacular.
Oh.
There is a final. Like there actually is a final checklist with Nightwing.
Let me see that.
I don't think it's in. It should be in this book.
The checklist of the Forever Evil stuff, or the
the final countdown.
Well, August I think has 3 more, and Rogues Rebellion I think has.
Yeah. The February checklist.
Let me see.
It has Forever Evil issue 6 of I believe 7 or 8. Argus issue 5, Arkham War issue 5, Rogues Rebellion issue 5, Justice League 28, Justice League of America 12, which we just covered, and Suicide Squad 28, which we just covered. So all we need now is Forever Evil 6, Argus 5.
Yeah, last was 5 Forever Evil, so yeah, that's 6.
We need Argus 5, Arkham War 5, and Justice League 28, and that's basically all the books. And but once again, It's the checklist, but you only need to read Justice League and Forever Evil, and you are fine. You don't need Justice League of America anymore, at least not right now. You don't need any of these side stories except Argus, which is a little bit minorly connected to Forever Evil.
Well, what's going on with the Justice League and the Firestorm situation?
So yeah. Rogues Rebellion is just their own book. Arkham War, you could take Forever Evil off Arkham War and just say it's Gotham without Batman. What would happen? Because that's exactly what it is. It doesn't need the Forever Evil banner, and to be honest, Arkham War actually needs a final one-shot issue as an aftermath to Forever Evil to give it a proper conclusion.
Exactly, that's what it is.
So, it honestly doesn't even need to be a Forever Evil book. It could be its own entity. Rogues Rebellion is its own thing. Argus tries to connect to Forever Evil. Justice League and Forever Evil are connected. And Justice League of America became a John Jones Stargirl main spotlight.
But it's also to find the Justice League. You know, they're going in separate directions. I don't know if they're trying to confuse us or if they're trying to connect it. Because between August and Justice League of America, I'm like, sometimes comic books can do that.
And with that, that's it for this week, guys. As always, we're not doing the rundown anymore, so don't forget to check out comicrelated.com as well as comicfrontline.com. We are together your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. And it doesn't just stop at comics. We got your video games, we got your toys, we got your movies and TV. We've got basically everything you can think of under the sun.
As Mr. Rogers would say, new ideas for you.
Yes. Many ideas that are coming your way.
I can't believe I just pulled that off.
It's been a spectacular first week for Comic Frontline. Guys, don't forget, please spread the word about Comic Frontline. Tell your friends.
Yes, please.
Tell your friends. Tell your comic stores, owners. Tell the people in the comic store. Tell the people walking in, walking out, going around the comic store. Anybody who you know is a fan of TV series, movies, video games, toys, anything. Let them know that we are out there.
And tell your pets as well, because pets, they can watch.
Basically, help spread the Comic Frontline movement, where we're trying to build up our website, our channel. Right now it's our channel, but soon it will be our website to huge capacity. We're looking to make huge steps, and we're looking to make a huge mark in the year of 2014. And thanks to all of you out there, we're actually doing that. And it's only been... Comic Frontline's only been live on YouTube for only a week now, and we've already made, thanks to you guys, a huge notch in the Comic Frontline belt.
Yeah, we're just out there making a difference in the comic book world and comic book community, and just taking the world by storm with lots of things just for you guys.
Yeah,
so
as the title says, we are going to be at the front line, everything geek and nerd related, or let's just say geek related.
Why do you always gotta the geek nerd and then geek? You always do that.
Because nerd is one word, geek is more fashionable.
So why can't you just say nerd geek or geek nerd?
Because you're a nerd, I'm a geek.
Well, there you go. That makes us...
No, you know what? You're a nerd and a geek. I'm fine.
Yeah, you think you're fine. Yeah. A little under that hat over there. Goes on under there.
Anyway, guys, take care. Keep reading, keep collecting,
and keep watching.
And we will see you guys really soon in another review. Take care, everybody.
Later, guys.